Mark.
And we are...
Meet Eminem.
So this is part 2 of our virtual wedding series where we discuss how we planned our wedding in
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So first of all, we're going to talk about where we live and how we were able to do this. We are located in Brooklyn, New York.
Bed-Stuy.
Say it again.
Bed-Stuy.
For those of you who don't know us, so New York City has Project Cupid, which is a portal they created through the city clerk's office so that people can get married virtually. And we took advantage of that process in the first few days that they posted it. So it's about $35. You just complete the application on the city clerk's website. After you complete the application, you have to go back to the Project Cupid website and go through that whole process. You schedule a meeting virtually with your city clerk advisor, whoever they assign you to.
Shout out to New York City. It was very efficient, actually.
It was. I mean, we'll talk about that. It had its pros and its cons, but overall it was great for us. And the meeting lasted, I don't know how long?
15 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, maybe like 15 minutes tops, where we talked about, they just asked us questions about our application, and then that was it. And then we had our marriage license, and we called the pastor and was just like, can you marry us?
He was like, why not?
So,
yeah. He was also our counselor as well, so thank you, Pastor B.
Yeah.
Love you dearly.
So that's the 2 weeks we're talking about, is from the time that our marriage license got into our hands to the day of our wedding, we had approximately 2 weeks. And so we were kind of stalling because a lot of people weren't able to get that meeting with the city clerk's office, which had me a little scared, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if we were going to be able to pull it off. But once we were, then we started moving like clockwork. So the next topic that we're going to discuss, we have our notes, y'all. We just got to, so we're not here forever.
All right, so before we kind of get into everything, our village helped so much from every little portion and part.
Yeah.
So we're thankful for, those that kind of showed up in every kind of special way, because it made the wedding that much more exciting, efficient, and also cheaper.
What was that?
Cheaper.
Yeah, everybody was excited to help participate in our big day.
Once we decided,
yeah, this is the day we're getting married, this is how we're gonna do it. People said, what do you need me to do? How can I do it? Couples out there who are getting married, take people up on their support, okay?
Yes, you deserve it.
Don't say, oh no, I don't need you to do it. No, let them do it. And that is how we were able to pull off this wedding in the midst of everything that's going on in the world right now.
Right. So for example, again, our officiant was our pastor. Right. In terms of clothing, I got my suit very, very commercial, like a real guy, like a week before the wedding from Macy's.
Yeah.
But it came too big, like really, really large. But a good friend of mine knew a good tailor, and he lived like 2 blocks from us, and he got it done within 2 days. And I'll link his information in the description as well. Yeah,
so clothing is difficult for a virtual wedding, especially for brides whoever decides to wear a dress, simply because bridal boutiques will tell you that your dress isn't coming for 6 or 7 months, which is the situation I was in. So unfortunately, I wasn't wearing the dress that I had tried on prior to COVID and was waiting for. I ended up buying a $57 dress from Nordstrom, which I think was pretty cute, and I made it work. So you just have to, that's one of the downsides of a virtual wedding if you don't have the time to plan it, or if you're having a wedding quick, is that those dresses that you see online oftentimes don't come in for a very long time.
And COVID actually made that worse.
Yes,
as well,
because I couldn't get in touch with the bridal boutique that I ordered my dress from, so that was the downside. So let's talk about flowers.
Go ahead, Maya. Right.
No, but let's just talk about flowers.
Well, I didn't know how expensive these things could be. So flowers cost thousands of dollars, and we didn't have the time to actually do that. So at the last moment, we decided to go to our trusty and loyal Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's, I love you so much.
Yes, so this was a combination, you'll see in the photos, of my Pinterest vision and what Trader Joe's had when we went into the grocery store. So I knew that for our wedding, we wanted terracotta and these really soft amber colors. almost reminding you of like a fall palette, but just very warm and neutral. And when I went into Trader Joe's, I started picking roses, and then they were super helpful. They even went in like the stock of flowers that weren't put out for everyone to see and bought more. So I just say like that was a great experience. Overall, the total cost of the flowers were about $75.
Right.
So if you have the DIY spirit, I would suggest you buy flowers if you're on a time crunch like this, and if it's going to be virtual anyway, because some of those minor details that a florist would be able to do for you don't really matter if everything's going to be on camera.
And then 2 days before, so Maya put all the flowers together. She made the bouquet, she made the boutonnières, had the boutonnières in the fridge. It was great. We're gonna definitely put a picture somewhere in the video so you can see it as well too.
Another item is the
cake. Again, our village. So we can't really speak to this much.
Yeah.
One of our closest friends, Melba, hooked us up with a cake that she got from a good friend, and she showed us a picture. We loved it, and she actually came and dropped it off like the day before.
Yeah, we can't take any credit for a lot of stuff, y'all.
Good friends.
We just have people do these things for us, but again, in the comment section below, we will talk about some of the things that we were able to do because people helped us out. So we are going to talk about things that we were able to keep with a virtual wedding that you often will find at a traditional wedding as well, and things that we could not do because we decided to have our wedding virtually during COVID. So, dun, 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 dun. First thing we were able to do is we did have a ceremony and a reception.
Yes, yes.
Even though it was virtual, we decided that we were gonna have both. So what we did is we had one link where people could log in and view our ceremony, and then we had another link for people to have like a 30-minute buffer maybe of time to sort of get relaxed and settled so that they can come back online and join us for our reception. For our virtual reception, shout out to our friends. Their names are Henry and Brittany. Henry and Brittany were our MC and like logistical coordinators for our reception. I highly recommend it. It made the entire process flow smoothly.
Yes.
Just having someone to be in charge of everything that we came up with.
And small things, right? Like we had a guest list, and we created that guest list with emails and numbers. We gave it to Henry and Britt, and they basically admitted people in the reception as well too.
That was dope.
Yeah. And also, again, Village helping us out. Pictures, one of our good friends named Latoya, and Cece helped us out. So all the pictures that you're seeing, it was done by 2 black women that just helped us down.
The second thing that we were able to do in a traditional wedding, we were able to do for our virtual wedding that you would find in a traditional wedding, was we had my dad actually give me away via the phone.
Yeah.
So someone just called him on my cell phone, and the pastor said, "Who gives this woman away?" And my dad said, "I do." And that was it. That was it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And next, we also had our first dance. Our first dance. It worked out perfectly fine. We set the camera up in a perfect kind of way. The way we had, you'll see in the picture, we were close to the camera for an intimate setting during the reception, and when it was time to dance, we just literally moved back from the table and had a large space to actually dance.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
One of the things that helped that is curating your playlist. So we had a very specific playlist for our ceremony, and we had a separate playlist for our reception. I highly recommend doing that because music brings people together. And
so this is the part where Mark kind of just messed the whole thing up.
Actually, the camera overheated.
Okay, whatever. The camera overheated, but again, I think it was Mark's.
The camera overheated.
So yeah, it's kind of awkward.
Where we left off, so we're talking about music, and we're talking about our first dance and all that type of stuff. So I'll just follow that up by saying we did have our first dance, and we did have a dance party.
Yeah.
Where all of our friends and our families did the electric slide. We danced compa a little bit. I mean, it was just epic. So
yeah, we found a way to blend the 2 cultures together.
Yeah, so get your music together. So let's see. Let's go to talking about. Sorry, y'all. We live in Brooklyn, and like, you know, noise just be everywhere. But all right, so cake cutting and wedding toast. I'll let you talk about that.
Right. So we had a cake cutting. We had a toast. That's pretty much it. What am I saying about a cake cutting and a toast, Maya?
Well, I mean,
we did the whole feeding each other situation.
we were intentional about choosing who we wanted to give a toast at our...
Oh yeah, the toast. So yeah, we had 4 friends. We picked 2 people from each side to do the toast. We knew that if we let it happen like a free for all, we would have been there all day. So we picked 2 from each side. They said something, and then we also wanted our parents to also have a segment. So at the very end of the reception, our parents said something like, to kind of wish us off.
It was beautiful.
And Maya's dad said the most amazing, beautiful poem, heartfelt, for real.
All right. So now that we have discussed, not everything, but most of the traditional things that you find in an in-person wedding that we were able to still do with our virtual wedding, let's talk about what we could not do because we had this sort of COVID virtual wedding, right? So we only have 2 things on the list, a very short list of things we missed out on. The first one was honeymoon.
Yeah.
So we weren't able to have the honeymoon that we dreamt of having after we got married, where we would be whisked away via a plane and go to this nice island.
Whisked away.
We said, I whisked away, but we didn't get to do that. And it's okay because now we were able to get creative in the house and figure out what honeymoon we could create and like what that got to look like. Yeah. What about the second one?
Second one we had, so we didn't have any bridesmaid or groomsmen at all, which was kind of tough, but it just didn't feel like it would fit. So we kind of just kept it to the people who we wanted somebody to speak to, not only as best friends, but also who has seen the arc of our relationship.
Yeah. So just to be clear, we had no bridesmaids.
Yeah.
We had no groomsmen at all, right? Because COVID, and didn't feel comfortable bringing people together. And really, it was virtually impossible to have our friends who we wanted to be our bridesmaids and groomsmen come together in 2 weeks anyway. So that was a part that we just sort of nixed. And these 4 people who we chose to do our toast, to echo what Mark was saying, they were just people who we chose because not only did we have great friendships with them, but those were the people who have actually seen our entire relationship and know about our relationship, right? So that's another hard thing. Like sometimes we have friends that we've been friends with for a long time, but they might just be my friend and they don't know about Mark and I and our union together. So I would say be mindful of that.
Yeah. And we also wanted someone who was comfortable speaking to just like a group of people as well too.
Yeah.
You know what we forgot to mention?
What?
One thing we actually got to keep was our registry. So we actually had a registry. People bought things from it.
Are you saying that just because you want people to buy from the registry?
Now that you mention it, like if you would like to, we could shamelessly maybe drop the Zola in there. But it was great though, and it just showed like we were able to keep some things that you would normally have in a traditional wedding, and it worked out like perfectly fine.
We didn't really miss out on anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Overall, I say, how would you rate your experience with virtual? If it was like on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate our virtual wedding in comparison to like the wedding that you always wanted?
5. I loved every moment of it, just because I'm an anxious person, in some ways, and I'm always thinking about how to please other people and make sure everybody's having a good time. I think we took care of all that in the back work. So in the actual wedding, we were just kind of like, we were able to be so present in a way that I feel like I'd have been worried about, like, is this person happy? Like, we didn't have to worry about drinks and alcohol and food, none of that stuff like that too. It's like people brought what they wanted to bring to that space, you know? And I think that like it worked out perfectly fine,
I would rate it a 5.5.
Oh.
I would rate it really high. I didn't think, to be perfectly transparent, I didn't think I would like the virtual wedding experience. I was doing it because I wanted to be married then, but I was looking forward to the in-person wedding that we were sort of planning for 2021.
Yeah.
And now that I've experienced it, I don't even know if we want a wedding in 2021. For what?
And especially because like we can't recreate the experience that we just had.
I know.
It'd be like, well, why? It would kind of force, and also it would just be a lot of like money for what reason?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So yeah, that's it. No regrets over here. That was our virtual wedding planning story in part 3. we will come back and tell you about the technology. Oh my gosh, that is one of the biggest things you have to have in place if you are going to have a virtual wedding. So we'll tell you all things as far as the equipment and the process that we use to set that up.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and we really hope to see you in episode part 3, whatever, in our marriage discussion.
Bye.
Peace.
You love to say episode.
I don't know why.